Hey guys, welcome back to RotoCurve.com. I am Josh Collacchi, back with you as always. And of course, so far this week, in week 5 of the NFL for daily fantasy, you've seen us talk about who to start, who not to start. We've discussed some other good videos, so be sure to take advantage of that on this channel and go to RotoCurve.com and check out all the free analysis, all the tools, everything you need to get started and to play well in daily fantasy sports. And get this, it's all free, so be sure to take advantage of all of it. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go into my against the grain pick for this week on FanDuel, and that's Andy Dalton, quarterback at just 7,300. Now, you've heard against the grain before. Now, what exactly does it mean? Essentially, against the grain in daily fantasy sports can be called contrarian, which solely means that you're playing players that will likely have a low-owned percentage. Now, the reason why they are low-owned is because there probably is a reason or two why people are staying away from them. That being said, if you can play a player with a low-owned percentage and they do well, you have a leg up on the competition because those are points that only you are getting or you and a lower number of people are getting in a tournament. So you see guys at the top of these tournaments with guys that are very low-owned, and if they happen to have a great day, that's really going to propel you up the leaderboard. Now, against the grain, that basically what we just talked about means that Andy Dalton, who was my against the grain pick this week, is going to be low-owned, which makes him a tournament play for me. But why is he considered an against the grain pick this week? Faces the Seattle Seahawks, who of course have the Legion of Boom, as all been discussed. They were not very good through the first 2 weeks of the season through the air, but that was without Cam Chancellor, and that goes without saying he's one of the better safeties in the NFL. Since he's returned, they've allowed 10 points so far, which is incredible. Now, keep in mind the two quarterbacks that the Seahawks face. With all due respect, Jimmy Clausen is not one of the better NFL quarterbacks, and Matt Stafford has struggled as well, trying to get back in sync with Calvin Johnson and the rest of that offense. So they have not faced two of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and that being said, Andy Dalton has been playing very well. So I think he has a little bit of an underrated matchup here simply because the Seahawks are going to be noted as a top matchup in terms of defense and a tough matchup for Andy Dalton. I think that they're a bit overrated considering the quarterbacks that they've shut down so far this season. Now, I do like Dalton because of his production and his price. Despite this week's very tough matchup, Dalton makes for an interesting play simply because of the discount he gets at his price. He's placed at quarterback 15 on FanDuel, which means there are 14 quarterbacks more expensive than he is. And currently this season, for this available slate, he's currently quarterback 3, which means he has the third most fantasy points per game at the quarterback position. 1 and 2, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So that's not bad company to be in, and especially considering a guy has priced 12 quarterbacks and slots below what his average is so far this season, and the fact that he has been playing well really shows that he's a value play. And considering he's going to be low-owned, I think it makes him a very interesting option. So far this season, Dalton has had a 300 yards per game in the air or more, and he's averaged 2.5 total touchdowns per game. So pair that with the fact that I think the Seahawks defense has been very good, especially with Cam Chancellor back, but there may be a tad overrated just because of the two teams they just played. He'll be very low-owned because people just simply don't want to target the Seahawks defense, and for good reason over the past few years. But I think that makes him an interesting play because he's been playing very well. The stats are there. You can see the price difference between his projected value and the fact that he really is quarterback 3 for this weekend. So with that being said, I think the guy that you're going to be targeting at quarterback on FanDuel in your contrarian GPP lineups, you want to go with Andy Dalton at quarterback at just 7,300 because he gives you a chance to get a high upside day, but he doesn't cost a fortune, and that's big for the quarterback position. That wraps up our Against the Grain segment for this week in Week 5 in NFL DFS on FanDuel. So be sure to head over to RotoCurve, check out all the free tools, all the analysis, everything you need to make this week a profitable one in NFL DFS. Good luck, everybody.